Making content is the easiest advice to give, and yet seems like the hardest to actually follow. And I feel like it's because no one really gives you a framework for making content. It's kind of like these elusive ideas to try to grab people's attention and all of these things. But I think what it really comes down to is that content is, in some ways, an art form. And the only way for you to get better is to do more volume, more reps, put out more content. So then you're able to understand the nuances of what works with your life, the things that you want to talk about, your specific audience, what they want to see. No one can really give that to you unless you work one-on-one with someone, which can be helpful. In terms of building a brand and being consistent online, the best thing that you can do is to put out as much content as you can, because that's the only way that you're actually going to get any data or any knowledge of the things that you're actually trying to work towards. And so that's what we're going to do in this video, is the actual framework to build that consistency and build that volume of work so you can actually look back and see what works and what doesn't. What you really have to do is you have to stop treating content like an afterthought. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about something that I'm almost certain that you've heard of if you've been trying to make content, but don't know how to go about it and haven't necessarily stuck to it. So I came up with 5 different things to help you get better at this one skill. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Nick Bardo, and I want to share something with you that has changed my life, and I'm certain that you've heard of it, but maybe just don't know how to go about it. And that is batch filming. I am pretty sure that you don't need me to tell you how incredible an opportunity building a personal brand is in today's world. There are a million people trying to shove it down your throats. However, as annoying as it might be, it is true. And so today I want to go over why batch filming is so important when trying to build a personal brand, and 5 different ways that you can go about batch filming that will absolutely help you in everything that you're doing. So for those of you that actually don't know what batch filming is basically filming pre-scripting and coming up with ideas. So maybe you come up with a week's worth of Instagram reels or ideas, and you go out in one session, one day. You go to a park, or you set up in your at home or in the studio, whatever it may be, and you film all of those 7 reels in one go. Maybe you switch out your t-shirt. You maybe move the camera to a different corner of your room, or you go to a different part of the park or something, and you film all of those. And so now, instead of trying to film one a day, you just got a whole week's worth all done. And now all you have to do is edit, and then you can just schedule those all out for the next week, and then you don't have to do it for the next week. And that's kind of what batch filming is, and you can go about it in different ways, but just in case you haven't heard of it, that's what it is. You can see how that would be massively helpful for people. As useful of a skill as this is, there are 5 things that I think really make or break it, because even a lot of people know what batch filming is. A lot of people know that a personal brand is important, especially if you have a business. But not everyone is doing it. And so why is that? Well, I've come up with 5 things to help with batch filming. And one of them, the first one, is probably the most important. So number 1 is you have to make it a priority. And what I mean by that is, if you don't make something a priority, it's not going to happen in your life. There are going to be things that come up in life. No matter what you do, no matter who you're with, no matter what kind of lifestyle you have, something is going to come up eventually. Even if you do it for a week and you're able to film one a day, something's going to happen where you're going to get caught off guard, and then your whole schedule, your whole rhythm is going to get thrown off. I mean, like, have you ever gone to the gym and then you go on vacation and you're like, well, for those couple of days or maybe for that week, I just won't go to the gym and I'll go back. Trying to go back after you come back from vacation is, like, for some reason, the biggest battle. Even if you've gone for years, it's like, it's so hard to do. And so making it a priority, no matter what is going on, is going to be one of the most important things that you do, because one way or another, if you make it a priority, you're going to figure out how to get it done. It's like, oh man, I really need to do that, and I haven't done that yet. And it's, 7 p.m. and all you want to do is just like watch a show, or maybe you haven't even had dinner yet. And so you're like, you eat dinner and then you still do it. And it's like 8 o'clock now and you still do it anyway. And so that's what making a priority is it's a priority. It's something that you need to do. And this kind of combines the idea of just content in general, of making content, but especially with batch filming, it's like, you know, I have to do all of this prep work. I have to come up with the ideas. I have to do some content research, and then I have to script them out or make some bullet points of what I'm going to talk about. And then I have to pack all of the shirts, and then I have to make sure all of my gear. Do I have my tripod? Is my phone charged? Or if I have a camera, like, are my camera batteries? Like, where is everything? Making sure everything's good to go. Oh, is it going to rain outside? Should I do it inside? Because, the dog and all of these things, right? It's like when trying to shoot content, it's like all of these things come up. But if it's a priority, you're going to figure out a way to overcome that. So you have to make it a priority. Simple as that. And if you have a business, if you have anything, all of the data, I don't know if you need data, but if you need data, it's one of the highest leverage things that you can do for your business, because people connect with people. And I'm not going to get into it, but you have to make it a priority. You just have to do it. You have to put it in your schedule every week. Like, if it's a Monday, if it's a Sunday, if it's a Saturday, if it's a Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever, pick a day. And that's going to be your batch filming day, and don't miss it. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I skipped ahead here. Yeah, you got to build the schedule. So you have to build the schedule around batch filming. So if it's a priority, we're going to put it in the schedule so it doesn't get missed. And I don't know if you use schedule or not, probably should. For me, it's mostly on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are my day to film my YouTube videos and my Instagram reels and all of that stuff. And so over the weekend and up on until Monday, I am researching ideas. I am writing everything out that I want to talk about. And this is where I got this video idea from, is batch filming. I think it's an important topic to talk about. And I know on Tuesdays that I'm going to film. And so I wanted to do all of the research and everything beforehand to prep for the filming day. And so just build it into the schedule. Know which days of the week that you're going to be researching content, which days of the week that you are going to be scripting out, editing, filming, put that all into it. And the way that I do it is over the weekend, there are more lull moments, so I'm able to scroll productively, looking at content that does well and seeing if I can format that into a way of things that I want to talk about. This is kind of a separate topic, but an important thing is that we're not copying content. But if I see that a hook did really well, so like I see that there's the title up above and the way that the person framed it, I don't even need to watch the rest of the video, but I know that I can apply that to the things that I want to talk about. Or looking at like YouTube thumbnails or titles and trying to adapt that to the things that I want to talk about. That's, the weekend, and then I script it out, and then I film on Tuesday. And so, Tuesday mornings have kind of become like a ritual for me, and it's kind of fun. It's like early in the morning, I wake up and I come to the park, I get an energy drink. I maybe stop by the coffee shop that's on the way to the park, and I have a little cold brew to myself, and I listen to music, and I just blast my music in my car, and I get excited to film. And that's my ritual. That's how the content schedule has worked for me, is I know now my body is trained for Tuesdays to be an exciting morning, because I just get to film and talk and hype myself on some caffeine, listen to some music, and just hang out at the park and have people stare at me. And it's a good time. It's a good time. So you have to build it in a schedule, and you have to stick to it because it is a priority, right? So that leads us to the next thing, which is plan and prep. And so again, this is planning and prepping. So it's a priority. I've put it into the schedule. I've come up with the ideas, partly planning, but more so planning, maybe some of the areas that you want to shoot. Like if it's in your home, okay, I'm going to shoot maybe in my notes that I have for the content. It's I'm going to shoot this in this corner of my living room, or kind of prep what that's going to look like. Prep the shirts that I'm going to change out into. And it's okay, so for this video, I'm going to wear this shirt. For this one, I'm going to wear this. This is going to be in this location, and kind of those kind of things. If you need props, I don't know if you're going to do skits or something, make sure you have those. And you're just putting that all into the notes of each piece of content. So you know exactly what's going to happen for each one. And so you're not trying to figure it out day of. All you have to worry about is talking to the camera. and everything else is figured out for you beforehand because you put in that extra work. This is a really underrated thing. I don't think enough people, it's those small details that really make things like more efficient. And it seems really silly of like, do I really have to plan the shirt? And if you don't care, you don't care. But it's just, for me, it's one of those things that it's like, I don't even have to think about it. And on the off chance that I'm not feeling great that day and making another decision just feels like awful, then that's going to ruin my content. Because a lot of content is like your energy. How high can you keep your energy? How well can you articulate your thoughts? Because, for me, I just have like bullet points. And so I still need to be able to come up with the way that I'm going to say things. And so if I am wasting energy into those small little things, if you're filming for, 3-4 hours trying to get all this content out, that's going to eat at you. And so just even like trying to figure out where to shoot content. Sometimes when I'm at the park, it doesn't always work out the way that I think it is, just because of the lighting, the way that the sun's hiding behind some of the trees. Like I have to memorize the park and where the shade is. And so I'm not like being blasted by the light. But the best that I can want to plan and prep. So the next thing on our list is have fun. And so I kind of alluded to this earlier with my ritual, but having fun is so important. And I think this can often get like overlooked because it's like, yeah, have fun, like whatever. But I have to film the content. I have to do all of these things, kind of like the things I listed out earlier. But filming content is supposed to be fun. You are articulating and sharing your ideas with the world, and hopefully people resonate with it in some kind of way, and you have to have fun with it. Like I said, like I know that Tuesday mornings, like I get to drive, which I like driving because I like cars and it's a whole thing for me. I drive a little bit ways to this park here. I grab an energy drink or coffee. I listen to some of my favorite music and I blast it windows down, and I just like get to see the sunrise. I get to be out in nature and I just have fun with it. And it allows me to show up on camera in a kind of different way. It allows me to kind of push off other people like looking at me and being like, why is he at this peaceful park filming content with a tripod and a whole setup and a whole thing? And it allows me to just be in my zone. And I think that having it really comes through in content. I don't think people really understand that. Is like, if you're not having fun with your content, it really comes through. People can see it. People can sense it. Like, we're really good at sniffing out those kinds of things. And so if you're just doing it because it's on your to-do list and you have to do it, people are going to notice that. And I think more so than anything, like I've noticed this for myself, like when I'm making content and it doesn't feel fun, it's very easy for me to then not make it a priority because I'm not having fun with it. I don't enjoy it, and it feels like this thing that I'm pushing out, and then my content ideas are even lessened for the next week because it's like, it's this thing that I have to do and it's really not even that enjoyable. And so just like, play some music while you're setting up. Like if you're at home especially and you're not like in public, obviously, I'm not going to blast music at the park when people are just trying to have a, peaceful morning. But if you're at home, like while you're setting up your corner and maybe you're putting a plant over, you're rearranging some of the couch or like whatever, play some of your favorite music, get hyped up, get ready and just have fun with it and test things out. I think that's another thing too, is like when you're having fun, you're able to test. Like you're not so worried about it being a particular way. You can kind of have fun and test out and like, maybe I like this angle a little bit better. Maybe I like it with this lighting. Maybe I want to say this in a different way. And it kind of opens you up to different ways of sharing whatever you want to share. Now, the last thing here is take notes. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, when you're making content, I would, from that session, from this batch filming session, take 3 things that you can improve next time. 3 things. So, maybe it is you really liked this particular angle that you looked. Like when the camera was more like at an angle like this and you were talking to the camera like this, maybe you liked that about yourself and you feel like you looked better. Or maybe you wanted it to be a little bit more straight on. Or maybe you liked it when you like leaned in. Taking notes like that in terms of your content and or liking how you display certain things. So maybe it's like in your actual notes when scripting, it's like, I actually really liked when it was like, instead of a bullet point, I like when it's like a check mark. So I can like, as I'm talking, I can check it off and know that I talked about that thing, or like, I like to strike it out, Or, maybe I have like my laptop right here in front of me with the bullet points. Or maybe I don't like that because then I just look at the laptop all the time. Or maybe it's like, if you have a camera and you have the little like flip out LCD screen, maybe I don't like the LCD screen because I keep looking at it and I don't look at the lens. That's actually something that I do, but I've been doing it this entire video. But just different things like that. Or maybe like a note could be that I really like filming in the morning because I feel like I have more energy versus at night because I feel exhausted, and it's never going to get done if it's at night because I keep putting it off. Or maybe it's the exact opposite. It's like the nighttime is like, I feel like I'm ready to go. I've dealt with all the things earlier in the day, so this is the last thing to do. I don't know, whatever your preference is. But just taking those notes of like what makes it easier, what makes it better. And on top of that, you can take that for your content itself when you're editing, or, how you say things like, okay, I don't like that I say this particular phrase over and over again. Or like I noticed for me, like I like wipe my nose. For some reason, I have no idea why. I wipe my nose even if there's nothing there. Like there's nothing. I have no drainage. I'm not sick. I'm not, my allergies aren't kicking up, but for some reason I noticed that like a lot of times, like I'll like mess with my nose and it's like, why are you doing that? Stop. Just like those small things, but just taking notes and just taking 3 things for your next session can be really helpful. And not even, and again, I would take this even further, just taking 3 things to improve for your next session, but also 3 things to take for your next pieces of content and the way that you talk, maybe the way that you phrase things, maybe your the way you take notes. Like, I've tried doing like for my hooks, I've tried doing like specific word for word hooks, and then having bullet points for the body, and then maybe having like one sentence that I say at the very end that is, completely scripted. Or maybe I just have the bullet points and I like figure out how to introduce it and how to close it. How do I want to do the thumbnail? Do I want to take a picture of the thumbnail first? Do I like that? Or do I want to do the title first? Or do I want to do that at the very end? Figuring all of that stuff out is through taking notes of each session. And this is where like the volume thing really comes into play, and how I'm going to wrap this all up is that you need the volume in order to understand what works for you. All of us are different, and all of us are making content for different purposes. Whether you have a business, even if you just have a business and you're just trying to promote that business, we all have different businesses, and we're all trying to speak to different people that all want different things. Like, I personally love having a camera and having it look really nice. And some people could not care less. And so there's no right or wrong. It's just what people want. Like, what do you want? What does your audience want? What makes it more enjoyable for you and for them? And you're not going to know that until you test things out over and over and over again. And so it's like, you might think of like, okay, I could batch film this way. And then you go through it and you're like, wow, that was awful. And I want to do it in a completely different way through these 3 things next time. And then you try those 3 things and be like, okay, that was a little bit better, but I still don't really like this, this, and this. Okay, great. And then you go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then maybe by a couple of times, then you're able to do 30 pieces of content in one batch film session versus just 7. And you're just slowly able to improve. And then before you know it, you're a pro and you're able to make content all the time. So to wrap up, you need to make it a priority. If it's not a priority, it's not going to happen. Things are going to come up and it's going to take your time, and you're never going to film content to begin with. Once it's a priority, then you're able to justify putting it into the schedule. You have to build it into your schedule, and not just batch filming, but coming up with ideas, researching topics, scripting, editing, posting. All of that needs to be put into the schedule. And then once you know what days of the week, you need to plan and prep. You need to make sure that you know where you're filming, what you're wearing, any props that you need for anything that you're doing, and make sure that you have all of those things. And then next thing, you need to have fun. You need to have fun with it and just have a blast. Make it a ritual. Get yourself a coffee. Treat yourself to something. Like, I personally really like Bloom drinks, or having a really, really nice coffee, like going out somewhere and getting like a pour over or something. And do that. Treat yourself with some Chipotle or something afterwards. I don't know. Just have fun with it and make it something that isn't like a huge pain in the ass. And then afterwards, take some notes. 3 things to improve your next session or improve your content in general. And if you do those things, I promise you that you will not only get better, but you will be able to stay consistent. And consistency is the whole thing. And once you're able to put in the reps required to be able to look back and improve, there's nothing stopping you. And so that has been 5 things to help you batch film and make content. And if you're looking to not deal with this yourself and want to build a personal brand, DM me on Instagram. This is what I do for people for a living, and would love to help you out and chat there. Until then, I will see you in the next one. See ya. Woo!